Okay, so this trike is from Mokwheel. Gonna get it out of the box, see how much I have to put together. I saw this recently when I went to the Mokwheel store in Huntington Beach, California, and I got to ride it too. And I gotta say, I really was impressed by this one. So it's quite different from the past two that I recently reviewed. So I cannot wait to show you guys this one. Okay, so this is how it looks inside the box. You're going to get a basket, fenders, air pump, seat, toolkit, light. But over here, this is the exciting part right here. The trike itself comes almost fully assembled. Unlike some trikes that I've installed in the past or assembled in the past, this one is almost fully assembled. It's not going to take any time to get this put together compared to those which took like a couple hours or so. A lot of parts on the other ones. But this is also exciting for me, is that the chain, the cassette, the gear cassette, a derailleur, and a whole lot of other stuff, it's just already installed on the trike. And this one has 3 hydraulic disc brakes, where the other trikes I've had only had 1, and it was a mechanical brake up front. So that was it on the other trikes. This trike is just a big step up. I'm going to get it all put together and we're going to check it out. So in the Mokwheel booklet, they suggest first that you pull this part out, lock it in, and then put the handlebar on. I prefer to put the handlebar on first because I don't want to accidentally drop it and drag it on the ground. So I'm just going to put it in and then I'll adjust it later after I lock the frame in place. Installing the handlebar is going to be really easy. You're going to pull this cap out, grab your handlebar, make sure it's facing forward. You want the brake handles facing away from you and in line with these mounting holes. Place the handlebar in, and it's going to be loose, so we're going to have to go in and tighten that up later. But for now, we're going to pull the stem out, lock it down, then we're going to finish the handlebar. Okay, once you pulled the rest of the body out and it's all lined up, take this lever, push it over, put it in place, and then of course if you want to fold it up one day, just release the lever by pulling that red button there and fold it back up. Okay, to tighten down your handlebar, you're going to pull up on this button, pull back on this lever, which is not the easiest thing to do, but it's not that difficult. Pull it down, open up the handlebar, put your wrench in, and tighten it down. Close it, lock it back in place, and if you're not straight, you can straighten it up later and tighten it back down during your final adjustments. Now we're going to work on the front tire. I have put my bike on a stand to raise it up off the ground. Now, if you're working alone, you might want to find something like that to help. Otherwise, you can just have somebody pick the bike up and hold it up for you while you're putting the front tire on when you're ready. But before we get that far, you're going to want to remove this piece here. It's just a couple of nuts there. You just loosen them and that should come right out. The caliper, the brake caliper is on the, if you're looking at it from the front, it's on the right side. It's loose. Don't worry about that. We're going to tighten that up and adjust that later. For now, we're going to just take the wheel and make sure that the disc is on the right side. So that's the brake disc. And then this piece here, just make sure to go ahead and pull that out or unscrew it, loosen it a lot. Same on the other side, which I've already done. Pull the washers out towards the nut. Then come back over to the forks, or the front fork. Line up your disc with the caliper, fit it in there. Everything else should slide right into place. You can finger tighten this for now, and then you can tighten it up again in a minute. Yeah, so that's about it. And then you can drop it down and tighten the whole thing up. And I'll go over the brake in a minute. Okay, so I'm using the 15mm wrench that's supplied by Mokwheel in the toolkit. And I've actually left it up in the air, the bike, so I'm going to just go ahead and start tightening this up a bit. Okay. Okay, once everything's on, if your brake caliper is loose like mine is, if it came loose like that, what you're going to do to adjust your brakes is you're going to squeeze your brake lever for your front brake, and that should kind of set everything right into place. And then from there you can go ahead and start tightening it up. But don't let go of your brake. Keep it squeezed together there. And then go back and forth, up and down here, and get this tight. Make sure everything's tight while you're at it. And your brake should be working fine. Release. And perfect. So all good there. Okay, so now it's time to install the front fender and the front light. So you're going to want to remove, there's a bolt on each side of the fork here. You're going to want to remove that with the washer. Don't lose the washer. And then take your fender, your front fender. I'm going to work from the back here so you can see everything I'm doing. And line these little arms up with the holes on the forks. And screw them back in, but don't tighten them yet. Just get them going. This is only to help you hold it in place while you install the light and the rest of the fender. And then once it's done, we'll tighten everything up. Now you're going to take this bolt off from the fender here, the top part of it. And you're going to take your light and place it right over everything. So you're going to line everything back up and then push this screw through to tighten it all down. Don't forget you can plug your light in also while you're doing this. Orange to orange. 3 little pins with a little slot. Make sure you line all that up. Don't damage it. And now you're going to tighten everything down. And you can adjust your light at the very end. Now, if things come out a little crooked, you can loosen these 2 screws and adjust it. So go ahead and tighten it all down, and your front fender and light are done. Okay, we're almost done. Now you're going to fasten the rear fenders to the rear basket using these plates that are mounted or welded onto the basket. Now when you get your rear fenders with your trike, these nuts and bolts are already going to be placed in the holes. You're going to have to remove all of those because you're going to take them out, put the bolt back through, put the washer on, put the nut on, and tighten it back up. And you're going to do that for both sides, both fenders. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started, and then we'll put the basket onto the trike with the fenders over the tires. Let's do that now. So I'm going to mount the basket to the frame of the bike now, and Mokwheel gives you these 4 long bolts to go through. The only problem is the wrench that they supply. It's an 8mm and a 10mm wrench, which is great. Like this side will work over here. Actually, this one, the 8mm, will work on this side, while the 10 works on this side. The only problem is you need one on the top and one on the bottom. So 2 of these wrenches, one being an 8 and one being a 10, would have been better than one that's both an 8 and a 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a pair of vice grips like this. You can use pliers or anything else you want, another wrench to hold that down. So I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted in and show you the result once I'm done. The basket with the fenders is now installed. Next, I'm going to move on over to the pedals. All you have to do when you're installing your pedals is make sure you keep in mind that there is a right and a left and that they turn in opposite directions. So the right's going to go on clockwise while the left side is going to go on counterclockwise. So for the right side, you're just going to put it in there and turn it and tighten it, get your wrench out, tighten it up. Do the same on the other side and the pedals are done. Okay, so I think everybody knows how to put a seat on, but just in case, pull this cap out, get rid of it, pull this lever open, push the stem down into the bike, and lock it back up, and you're done. Okay, we are now at the display. All you have to do is unscrew these pieces completely, take these completely out, open this up, squeeze it around the handlebar on both sides, get your display just right, and screw them back in. And then once you have it all tied in, remove this film and you are done. Okay, now that your Mokwheel Granite is fully assembled, don't forget to check your air pressure and the tires. Make sure your battery is fully charged. Everything is nice and tight. Don't forget to check my links down below for my full review on the Mokwheel Granite, as well as purchasing links. So for now, get out there and ride, and I'll see you on the next one.